Okay, so we are here at the Influencer10 conference in New York City. It's the last day. It's pouring down rain, but we have a fabulous panelist here who's an influencer too. His name is Aiken, and I'm just kidding. Play. Please introduce yourself and tell us who you are and why you're here.
So my name's Hebert. I run Tribes Win, a social media consultancy, helps big brands connect with their tribes online.
It's great. So let me ask you a question. When you deal with big brands and you help them connect with people online, what is the biggest challenge that you have, communicating that with them and helping them?
One is to help them understand that they have a tribe regardless. There are a lot of big brands and they're just used to selling products and moving units in the stores. There are people talking about their brand, obviously online, social listening. It's great in client meetings to just pull up a search tool, search.twitter or Hootsuite or anything, and just show them and say, since we started this meeting 20 minutes ago, here's all the conversations that are happening about either your brand or your products or your competitors or your industry. And that's usually a pretty big light bulb moment. They say, oh, I see it, and that it takes time to educate them on how to participate and engage.
Really? So when you were invited to the conference, when you saw Influencer10, what actually, why did you even bother to come? What moved you about this to come here today?
I thought it looked really interesting. Certainly there were some excellent panelists and some excellent topics. I think influencer seems to be the kind of the buzzword of 2010, right?
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, definitely. And tastemaker, whatever.
Tastemaker, yeah.
Right. But I think influencer is an interesting word because right now, a lot of people are talking influencers or people that have 100,000 followers on Twitter or whatever. But I think it's not about the numbers. If you look at two organizations, right? AAA has lots and lots of members, right? I don't know how many millions of people in AAA are, and how influential are they, right? They provide some protection if you get a flat tire. They're not very influential, but then like something like the TED conference, in California, many smaller, people than AAA, but they're immeasurably more influential, right, and educational and stuff. So I think people often misassign, follower counts, fan counts, and things like that to influencers, right?
That's a great point.
Gandhi, pretty major influencer prior to any of these stupid social media,
right?
So it's like, and it's not about everybody. I think there's the same thing with brands. They try to get everywhere. They try to get eyeballs, and that's the old fallacy of a billboard in Times Square. It's like, I saw a billboard in Times Square for lingerie. They reached me. I didn't buy any, but eyeballs and those types of things, whatever. So it's about being smart and who you want to reach and how you reach those people. And that's back to this Tribes concept. I named my company. It's after a Seth Godin book called Tribes. Definitely check it out. You can download it for free online. And the best example of a tribe is the Apple tribe, I think.
That's a cult.
It is. It's a cult. Yeah, maybe it's gone from tribe to cult. But what's interesting is you talk about commercials and people pay so much for Super Bowl commercials and everything else. Apple's tribe is so strong that they've flipped it the other way, where when Steve Jobs takes the stage every quarter to do his Apple keynote, what is that? It's not an influencer conference. It's a commercial for Apple products. So when you've got a tribe that strong, and you have people tweeting, and there's micro tribes, and there's people mocking up the products that they think he's going to talk about, and how many people wish they could get a ticket to that. As a brand, if you can have an event where people are busting down the doors to listen to your commercial,
that's insane.
That's a tribe, and so that's what I help.
How do you think he did? I know that's a big question.
It's a number of things. One, it's not certainly it's a marathon and not a sprint, and they've been doing it for many years and engaging their tribe and listening. And the other thing is being remarkable, standing out, not building. How many, Dell, HP, whatever. They're all. It's all PC, runs Windows, whatever. They've been making innovative products like the iPhone and the iPad, and they've had a history. And it's not that they're always perfect. It's not that he's got a magic crystal ball of what's going to be amazing. He's willing to be wrong. The Newton. Who has a Newton? Nobody has a Newton, and they put a lot of millions of dollars into that, and he was willing to be wrong. Most big brands are not willing to be wrong, like they were wrong with that. He's right enough of the time, but he ships and he gets products out the door, and they're remarkable, and people talk about them, and then they give their tribe tools to engage with each other.
That's incredible. So one of the things that I wanted to ask, actually, the panel, which is I'm glad I have you here based on what you do in your agency, the reality of it, which is what I'm hearing from you, correct me if I'm wrong, is that, the reality is you can have 1 million followers, but only 10% of them are really engaged anyway. When I say engaged, in other words, they're the influencers, the ones who will retweet you, who will kind of reach out. And so if that's the reality, then thinking back to Andy Warhol's comment about, everyone is going to have their 15 minutes of fame, right? Everyone will be an influencer, big thing.
Sure.
Does social media actually speak to that, or does it debunk that? I mean, do you think that statement is still true today? That, like, I know it's not meant to be like literal, but where everyone will be able to, because it seems that's what we're even talking about here. Everyone wants to be an influencer. Is that where we're going?
I think, to paraphrase Warhol's quote, these social media and these tools make the likelihood, if you want to, if you stand up and lead a tribe, identify a tribe and lead a tribe, because Steve Jobs has done it with his, Oprah's got her tribe, Ellen's got her tribe, everybody's got their tribe, but, the Beatles didn't invent teenagers, they chose to lead them, right? And there are so many nascent tribes out there without a leader that want to be organized, these people, and social media and digital media give you these tools to, if you wake up in the morning, it's not about me as a personal brand, I want to be an influencer, so I'm going to try to amass a number of Twitter followers, whatever. Pick a tribe, something you're passionate about. We've hopefully all got a number of things that we're passionate about. I don't care if it's cooking or photography or Indian cooking or blue socks or whatever. I mean, you could start the Blue Sock Tribe, and seriously, even if you have the 10,000 people in the United States, that if you are the leader of the Blue Sock Tribe and those 10,000 people listen to you, and you're going to have, to use your 10% thing, and I think a general person, let's say, Ashton Kutcher or whatever, with millions of Twitter followers, if he posts something and, I mean, the numbers fall off because he's not really, he's got a tribe of fans or whatever, but the fall off from posting a link of something he posts or shares or whatever, it's not 3 million people that click on it. It's just for the first time in history, marketers have some number to point to that he's got 4 million Twitter followers. Well, if he posts something, 40,000 people might see it, because otherwise it just flies by in their stream and they're not looking. And that's really the beauty of the at reply with like if you look at a brand like Whole Foods, they have 280 stores worldwide. Not a ton, right? I mean, it's big, but enough. But they've got an absolute tribe because their business is organized around organic food. You can't buy Coca-Cola. You can't buy the sugary soft drinks at Whole Foods. So therefore, the people that shop there, it's a tribe because it's like-minded people to begin with. And then if you look at their Twitter account, they're doing it right. They're doing social media really, really well. 80 to 90% of their tweets are at replies to specific people. Wow. So Joe is talking about avocados in Arizona, and then Jane is talking about, she got less than optimal service from a checker in Seattle, and they reply at Jane, we're very sorry, we're gonna look into that, we're gonna fix that. That personalized service from such a huge brand, with only 280 stores, they have 1.8, maybe 2 million Twitter followers, but they didn't build it from blasting out, there's a sale on strawberries, they built it from at replies, because the difference between a tweet and an at reply is a tweet, with most people, it's likely to fly by and they're not going to see it because it's just a big broadcast thing. An at reply goes into a whole separate column and everyone sees their at replies. It's like email. That's true.
That's very true. Wow. You've been, I love the panel that you were on. Did anything, just before I let you go, was there any one thing in particular that stood out that you think that resonated with you in a good way, or something that you feel should have been elaborated on, or needs to be addressed in the business as a whole?
I mean, I think there was an interesting point about people that are apprehensive of these tools, or the woman who tried Twitter, but she said, I would never see why I would use Foursquare. I think that person is the same person who probably at one point said, I would never understand why I would use something like Twitter, I don't care what people ate for lunch. Then they tried and they realized that that's not what it's about. And it's our job as marketers and as social media practitioners to educate people about the value of these tools. But I was talking to somebody else about this yesterday. Right now there's so much opportunity, so many brands that need help. There's enough brands that are saying, I want to do this, I get it, I want to move forward, please help me, how do I go there? That it's not worth wasting your time with brands or companies or clients that don't see the value. I'll help
That's a
the
good
companies
point.
that see the value now, and I'll talk to them in 2 or 3 years
That's a
once
good
once
point.
their revenue's falling off and they're dying off, right?
Right.
It's similar. There was pushback against
Right.
all through the history of companies. You know,
Mhm.
companies said we can't put a phone on every desk. They're just gonna call home.
Yeah.
We can't give everyone an email. They're just gonna email their friends.
Right.
And hopefully, in 5 years, hopefully the term social media has faded away, and it's just realized
just
that's
be-
another form of communication. Every part of the company, there's not a director of social media will be
Right.
as strange as having a director of phone or a director of fax or a
Right,
director
or
of
a
email.
phone operator.
Right, right.
Or phone.
It'll just be an integrated part of communication, but it'll be in every company. And I really think we're getting there, and we're getting there a little more slowly than I would like, and that I think there's so much opportunity out there for companies to use internal software like Jive,
Right.
where instead of managing a project via email,
Right.
like in-sourcing ideas, look at a brand like Starbucks, another brand who does social really well.
Yeah.
MyStarbucksIdea.com, you know?
Yeah.
If you have an idea about how the cup should be redesigned because you keep spilling hot coffee on your lap while you're driving, whatever, you
Yeah.
put it on, and then it gets voted up and voted down, and you
brilliant.
get, I mean, instead of paying another consulting company hundreds of thousands of dollars for product innovation, how about we just ask everybody, because who
Listen to
doesn't
you.
go to Starbucks, right?
Exactly. That's true. It's so true. I really have enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Are you coming next year?
I'm absolutely coming next
We'll
year.
stalk you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, take care.